This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by Slutty Little Glasses.
Make me laugh, make me cry. Don't go in there, you're going to die. Grab a drink, look over the road. Pass the popcorn and away we go. I was a teenage film snob, baby. I was a teenage film snob, baby.
Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob. And guys, we're back with a Pod Squad show. I was doing the maths before, and it's been a month since we've done it as a team, which is kind of crazy. We've had a couple of great guests on recently, lots of great guests actually. And the last time it was meant to be a Pod Squad, it was just me sitting alone talking about the DC films, and I got a lot of interesting feedback online, which we'll probably talk about in a second. Before we start the show, we need to bring my co-host, the wonderful Maddie Schultz. Welcome back, Maddie.
Good evening, everybody. It's good to be back after such a lengthy break.
Nice to have you back. We decided poor Nick Owen was sick the last time we were meant to record, and you were on school holidays, and we kind of made the call and said, hey, let's give you guys both a bit of a break. It's been pretty non-stop lately, so you got kids, and I'm sure you wanted to have some just alone time as well. So, and you had some very smutty books to read, which I'm sure we'll hear about tonight as well. Speaking of smut, we need to also welcome back the Lord of Smut himself, Mr. Nick Owen. Welcome back, buddy.
Hi, James. Hi, Maddie.
Definitely not a fair nickname.
Thank you for using my correct title, finally.
I'll tell you what, speaking of correct titles, do you know, and I never know if you remember this joke, but you're still saved in my phone as Nick Owen with your surname spelt wrong because of a dumb joke I made 10 years ago. How are you, my friend? You feeling better?
Feeling much better, thank you. Yeah, it was just like a classic winter man flu. You know how it is? Sure do, man. I've been having that on and off for the last 6 months, it feels like. But now going well. Excited to talk about some movies. I was telling you guys before, I've done zero prep, but I'm still looking forward to talking absolute crap and having some fun.
Yeah, it's long overdue. It'd be nice to talk about movies again. Like, as if this show never talks about movies, but we haven't just kind of shot the breeze about just what we've been watching in generally. We have a bit of an agenda. But tonight, there are no rules. We didn't sit down and watch a bunch of movies from one director. We didn't sit down and watch one particular movie. I'll tell you what, before we get stuck into it, we have been exploring other social media platforms. I think we talked about this. I know we talked about it in the last show we were on together, but we've been exclusively on Instagram for the last 3 years. And a good friend of the show, Josh Sacco, my oldest friend, I've known him for almost 30 years. He has his own game company. He was saying, I know you don't like them, but you should try other social media. So we've started posting to TikTok and YouTube, two places I really don't understand. I'm really struggling. TikTok, no filter on the comments. People have been tearing me apart on some of my opinions, except for one guy who keeps telling me that Jesus loves me. So that's been a fascinating.
Well, at least we got one new fan then.
Yeah, I think like in one of the clips from the last episode where I sat down by myself, I compared Superman to Jesus and how I had a complicated relationship with the church, which is why I didn't like Superman at the time. And I just hear, Jesus loves you, brother. And I was like, so 3 times I've had that in the last couple of weeks.
Tell him to subscribe then.
Yeah, absolutely. But a huge thank you to people who've been following along on YouTube. In like 3 weeks, not even, we've hit over 7,000, almost 8,000 views.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's insane. Like, and it's mainly on the shorts, to be honest. It's not the full episodes, because that'd be like 20,000 hours or something. But yeah, whoever's coming out to play at YouTube, thank you, because we've gone from nothing to almost 8,000 views in just a couple of weeks, which I'm sure, by some standards isn't a lot. But for us, like putting our foot in the door, it's been great. So very exciting.
We need to find a way for each of those 7,000 people to pay us $100.
Oh, you think it's 7,000 people each watched one thing? You don't think it was more people revisiting?
Yeah, we'll get there. Slowly, my friends.
Oh, my goodness. I'm trying to think if we have any news other than that before we dive into it all. Because I know, Maddie, you've been watching stuff, and I know you've watched... I posted photos of you reacting to something you've watched, so I'm very keen to hear that came about. Nick and I went to another premiere, which was very exciting. We'll talk about that movie soon as well. How are you feeling like you're getting the taste of the champagne lifestyle now, Nick? Are you getting too accustomed to attending premieres?
Very glamorous. Again, nothing we were just talking about before, but it was very glamorous to shove pizza in my face while waiting to get into a cinema for a premiere. But yeah, it's really cool actually to go see. I don't know. You see premieres happen on social media. You see people posting photos in front of the signage, and you think, "Oh, that's glamorous. How do we get? How do we get there?" And then all of a sudden, you're doing it. So yeah, very cool.
We were talking, Nick and I, Maddie, before the movie started. We were both kind of like, I think it was you, Nick, you're like, doesn't it feel like we haven't done anywhere near enough work to be here yet?
You're getting a bit of imposter syndrome, were you?
Yeah. But no, it was
fun,
nice.
Though.
Yeah, it was cool.
Even if you don't feel like you've elbowed your way enough and you're there, though, enjoy it while you're there. It's cool.
I would say exclusively we've elbowed our way in. I don't think we weren't. Do you know what I mean? We've forced our way in. I was just communicating with someone today, so hopefully in August we'll have another one. So trying to get a few more in before the end of the year. So, but that was nice. It was nice to go, and you were missed, of course, Maddie. It's a shame that you weren't there, but I also know you don't particularly like horror movies, so.
Yeah, not exactly my jam. My wild imagination is generally my downfall. Like, I might enjoy it while I'm there, but then just the ripple effects afterwards are just not livable for me.
Yeah.
I've got to protect my fragile brain.
I'm trying to think. I think there's also, I'll save there's a bit of news. I know what our next episode is going to be, but we'll save that until the end because we are going to go to another movie together, which we're very excited about. We'll talk about the end. We'll tease that, leave people on tenterhooks, and they can wait until the end. I guess we just get into it. We've all been watching stuff. Maddie, I haven't heard you talk about a movie in a while, so maybe we'll start with you. How do we want to do this? Do we want to go one movie at a time? Do we want to just rattle through a list each? How do we want to do this?
I think one at a time. Then,
and then we can jump in on each other's if we've seen that
Maddie
movie.
doesn't have to turn out. Yeah, exactly.
My brain won't be able to do all of them that I've been watching in sequence. I need to
Yep. Yeah. Cool. All right. Do that.
Yeah. But I will tell you that you'll be proud of me. I'm just going right back to what have I watched the furthest back. But I watched Parasite. I was a good girl. I did my homework. I watched Parasite, and David and I watched it together, and we watched it in two halves. So we watched one night, and we watched up to basically I would say it's the first act, where the family have all then got employed in the house. And I had a great time. I really, really, had a great time. We'll talk about it in a second. But then the second night, we watched the second half, and no, not
very different movie. Second half.
Basically, I was like, "What the fuck? What did we turn on the wrong thing? What is?" It didn't go in a direction I didn't think it had the possibility to go. But I enjoyed the first half. The second half, I was like, this is pushing my comfort zone for things, for my ick.
Maddie, what happens after the whole family gets employed? It's been a couple of years. I know there's that scene with a birthday party, but just refresh me. What actually happens
So once they've elbowed out the previous staff members, the old housekeeper kind of starts to nosy her way back in, and you're like, why is she turning up? And so she happens to turn up at the house when the family go on a camping trip, as in the rich family go on a camping trip, and the old housekeeper turns up at their door at the middle of the night, and the other family's literally sloshing around the living room, junk, food, shit, booze everywhere. And she just turns up and she says, she needed to collect a few things or something. And they're like, oh, okay. And of course their beautiful, cultural hospitality is they're not going to turn her away. So the mother, who's the new housekeeper, lets her in. And that's when it starts to get unraveled that her husband has been living in a bunker under the house. And that's when I just got the ick. He gave me the ick. The blackmail and the kind of creepy violence that started to happen was I don't know. It was cool, but at the same time, I just slowly brought my blanket up and was like, "What are we watching?"
Yeah.
Well, I
And
remember
then, the birthday party, and
I remember you messaged me like, "What am I in for next?" And I was like, "Well, I go, it's going to be funny, and then kind of sexy, and then sexy but not in a good way, and then kind of funny again, and then creepy, and then just really bad,
and then really sad. You
really
reckon then
sad,
really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
was
it was
like,
so spot on.
yeah, because there's that scene where like the parents are fooling around. And you're like, oh, this is nice. They finally have time to appreciate each other. And then you realize that there are children in the room, and you're like, this is not
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it unravels.
And they say like mean things. They say mean things about the dad, that he smells funny, and like, yeah, and that made me sad for him. And the thing that I really dug the most is the main family's dynamic. I really loved it. I loved how they like sat around and they had dinner, and they like not encouraged each other, but they were talking about how like you're really good at this and you're so good at that. And could you imagine if we lived in this sort of house? Yeah, that would be really cool. Like they never like tore each other down. They never pulled each other down a peg. They never sort of threw reality back in each other's faces. Like they were this really nice little core unit of a family, and I really responded to that. I really liked the dynamics behind them, and I really liked the pace that the film went when the son went first, and then the daughter got a job, and then the dad got the job, and then the mum got the job. Like I liked, I guess, that sort of prescriptive like pacing and narrative to sort of be like, oh, I think I know where this is going. Someone else will get the job. Someone else will get the job. I loved the rich mother's whole personality just because it was so cliche. It was just so cliche that I just loved it so much. I hated the fucking house. Like, spoiler everyone, I'm a VCD teacher, so I teach architecture. Fucking hated the house. So every time something happened in the house, I was like, well, maybe if that wall wasn't there, or maybe if that kitchenette was, 2 meters less in that room. Like, I was just bitching about, like, yeah. On, like, the stairs, coming down the stairs, down the bunker, I was like, oh, that's not regulation. Like, David's
We've got to
like,
get
you
you.
shut up about the
This
stairs.
is a
I'm like,
great
no.
idea for like a commentary track, an optional commentary track on movies. Like Maddie like judges the architecture of the film. That's not up to code.
I judge the costuming. I judge the architecture. I'm so judgy.
How did you go? Because I think of the films that he's directed, this is my favorite of his. So
really,
yeah,
okay.
I really like Parasite. So when we watched Mickey 17 earlier this year, like the last thing that was hanging over my head was Parasite. And that's why I think Mickey 17, I was like, I like it, but I feel like it's not quite going as far as it could. So given that you watched them the other way around, like, how do you feel? Like, do you enjoy Mickey 17 more? Mickey 17 obviously a lot lighter. Like, it's dark, but it's, it's a bit more...
I think it's my type. I think it's my type of dark humor. Yeah. I think it's my type of, like, gore, death, like, ethics, morals. Like, it's my type of sort of, let's make you laugh about it, even though it's pretty horrendous. So I liked it better. But again, I really liked the strength was in the first half of Mickey 17 as well. So I wonder if that's just where more energy and more inspiration comes forward in that first setting up of characters and world and pace. And then the second half always gets a bit chaotic. I wonder if that's habit or a trend or a specialty. But
I'm trying to think. Snowpiercer. Well, Snowpiercer isn't very tongue-in-cheek or fun. It's very it's much more grounded and serious. Well, not grounded. It's a science fiction film, but it's very serious. But I don't know if that one's necessarily lighter. That one's just pretty much like it just starts off slow and then gets more and more bloody as the time goes on.
It gets sort of compressed. I feel like you have more breathing space, more dialogue, and then as he moves across the train, you're getting shorter, sharper, compressed, confined spaces, darker lighting. Yeah.
Well, now that I know you've enjoyed the family dynamic in Parasite, you might have to check out Shoplifters. That's a really good South Korean film as well. Not the same director, but it's very much about like what it means to be a family and to survive as a family. But it's like it's it's basically about this kind of adoptive family. They're all impoverished and they kind of found each other, and the way they survive is by shoplifting. But it's very sweet and very heartfelt and stuff. Made me cry a bunch. So you might dig that one.
There was a few moments that I don't think were meant to be funny, but David and I kept making them funny. You know, when you just get in a silly mood and you we kept calling the rock the Jumanji rock. You know when you pull out the Jumanji board game and you're like, nothing good's going to happen from this board game. And they kept going back to that rock. And I was like, it's the Jumanji rock. And then when he goes back and gets it from the flood and he takes it, I'm like, oh no, the Jumanji rock. This is something can happen. And little did we know, he got fucked up by the Jumanji rock. So those bits I thought was a little bit funny. Or the Morse code where he's like the son thinks he's seeing a ghost and the ghost is communicating. It's the guy bashing his head or into the Morse code of the lighting. I lost my shit. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, Jumanji Rock it lightened the second half.
I just think it's if there was an Academy Award for the best title for a film that suits the film, Parasite, I do think it's just perfect because going in, I didn't really know anything about it. And then all the buzz, it's really highly rated and it was nominated for all the Academy Awards. And I was like, what's this film called Parasite? Is it like an alien one or something like that? But it literally is about a parasitic family who worm their way in somewhere. It's just, I don't know, just such a good title.
Well, it's not just the family; it's also the guy downstairs. He's the other parasite, isn't he? And he's the deadlier version.
And also he's the longer serving parasite, and the conditions for a parasite to live is based on the host creating the optimal conditions. So it's almost do you feel bad for that family? Not really. They've created the optimal circumstances for this parasite to infiltrate. So it's sort of really clever title. You're right. I was worried, when going in a bit blind. I'm like, is there going to be something kind of someone going to get sick with something? Or how cool are the teeth scenes, though?
I think Nick and I know you well enough that if it was going to get gross or in a pretty sinister way, that we would let you know. But no, it's just because Tina was the same. When I watched it, I was like, oh my God, of course this flick deserved the nominations and the win. And she's like, what is it, some kind of monster movie? I'm like, no, it's got nothing to do with monsters. She's like, but Parasite. I'm like, I know. I'm like, if you want to know, you'll have to watch it. And she's like, I'm never going to watch it. I'm like, well, then you'll never know. And then we didn't speak for 3 days. Well, I'm glad you finally watched Parasite. It's so good. It's really great.
Yeah, it's really. I will give it. It's really clever. It's definitely really, really clever. And it did deserve awards. I absolutely will go with that. But in terms of what I was ready for, I wasn't ready for the second half.
Yeah. It's that seems to be very much the Korean sensibility when it comes to filmmaking. A lot of the films that I love from Korea, it's very similar. Upfront, kind of light, you don't quite get the full story, and then holy Christ, the second half, it just smacks you in the face with a phone book.
Is Old Boy Korean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say no more.
It's a great movie, but that is the example I can think of most when it comes to smacking you in the face with a phone book. You have no idea what's coming in that film.
Maddie, have you seen Old Boy?
I don't know where Old Boy
probably
is.
Best to keep it that way.
It's great. I watch Old Boy probably at least once a year. I love Old Boy, but it's
put it out there. I'm not bad with violence and gore. I'm really
it's not
bad,
that.
and I'm not bad with monsters or creepy looking things. I'm not good with jump scares. It's jump scares and
there's
horror peril.
I'm
not good.
There's a psychologically damaging twist at the end that you'll just that your life can be split into before you've seen it and after. So
okay, not for me. Thanks. Not for me.
We can't explain without spoiling it for you. But then if we do spoil it for you, then we have to start like I don't know. Then I'm like now I have to defend why I like watching this movie. But
Yeah, I was like, what sort of shit have you had to deal with that you like this sort of doing this to yourself?
every year without fail.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like another one I really like is I Saw the Devil. I don't know if you've seen that one, Nick. But it's basically this cat and mouse cop thriller where the film opens and a policeman's wife is murdered. And then it turns out the guy who murdered her has been on a killing spree. He's like a serial killer in South Korea. And so the husband, who's a cop, he wants to hunt him down, but they're like, no, like this is a conflict of interest. Take absence of leave, like grieve properly, and then come back when you're ready. So instead, he just uses his police skills to hunt the guy down anyway. But he catches him really quickly. So you're like, oh, well, we're only like half an hour in. There's like 90 minutes to go. And what he does, he like tags him with a GPS, beats the crap out of him, lets him go, and then repeats for 2 hours. He just like keeps punishing him over and over again. But there's some stuff, there's stuff in there where like that's the cool stuff. But there's some stuff I'm like, if people know every inch of this film and like they ask me to justify why I like it, it does get a little bit dicey as well. But it's a really great flick. It's just the some of the plot points are unusual, to say the least. But yeah, Parasite is probably of all of them the tamest, I think. Bittersweet Life. I would say Bittersweet Life as well is probably quite tame. You could watch that one. We'll come back, Maddie. But what have you been watching, Nick? What's first up? What's first cab off the rank for you? Has Nick frozen?
I think so. Or he's really good at staying
A film called
still.
Warfare, which came out.
Oh, you froze. Sorry, man.
Oh, did you hear it?
I just heard Warfare.
Warfare.
Hang on a sec.
It's a visual gag that no one will get to appreciate, but I loved it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we got you, man.
All right, I want to talk about Warfare, which came out this year. James, it's really hard to give a review while you're laughing your ass off.
Don't be so funny.
I'm glad you watched it. Did you watch it after me?
Warfare. I watched it.
I reckon you did.
July sometime.
Yeah, I reckon you watched it after me then, because I definitely watched it like June or like it came out and then like 2 weeks later, I reckon I watched it.
I'm so glad you've seen it, so you can kind of weigh in on what you thought as well. So it's streaming on Amazon Prime actually, so it's out there and available.
Oh, nice.
And it follows a little platoon of US soldiers in a small, I think it's an Iraq village. It could be Afghanistan. Was it Iraq?
I thought it was Iraq.
Yeah. And they're holding down a position basically under immense enemy fire. And basically the film happens in real time. It's quite short, but it's an hour and a half of very, very realistic, I guess, the horrors of war. Interestingly, it was written and co-directed by Alex Garland, who directed Ex Machina and my favorite film of last year, Civil War, and also one of the actual soldiers who was part of that experience. So I think it was based on their actual accounts of what happened.
Yeah, I think they were saying at the opening of the film, they're saying that it's based on
and essentially
their memories, and their accounts,
Yeah, and so they're essentially holding down this house. Like the film starts with them kind of taking over a house in a Iraqi village.
No, it doesn't.
Does it
No,
not?
it doesn't. The best opening sequence of a war film ever.
Yeah, what's the song?
Other than Saving Private Ryan, because that opening sequence is incredible. But the opening sequence of this was not what I was ready for.
How did I forget? They're all standing around. So it's set in 2006. They're all standing around watching the music video for Call on Me by Eric Prydz, which, if you're familiar with music videos, is basically scantily clad women doing Pilates.
Aerobics and Pilates. It's great.
Oh, how could I forget? Thanks, Maddie.
They're all gathered around that one screen, and then they all end up like singing the song, and like it's excellent.
And there's an excellent callback when they're silently like trawling through this town where a guy looks over the street and he does the dance move.
He does the pelvic thrusting
Yeah.
across the road at his friend, and then they snap back into like, okay, shit, we really need to be, yeah.
So they're holding down this position, and they identify that there's some movement outside. Maybe the people of the town have noticed that they're hiding out in this house, and then basically all hell breaks loose. Where I think they lob some grenades in. They're under immense fire. They call in an evac, and a big tank comes along, and basically they're trying to evacuate the house and get into this tank. And then I don't know if it's like what it was that went off, but there's a massive explosion. And yeah, so like a few of them get injured, but it's hyper realistic. I wouldn't say it was a lot of fun. It's definitely interesting, and it definitely gives you. I think it's really important to have films like this to probably give us, who are fortunate enough never to experience, an idea of what it's actually like for these men and women who go over and do this. And pretty good cast. I really only knew a few of the people in it. I don't know if you knew too many either, Maddie. I knew Will Poulter, and I knew Cosmo Jarvis. Cosmo Jarvis was in Shogun, which was a great show from last year.
Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Joseph Quinn is having maybe the best year of anyone's life ever. He's like in everything at the moment.
Yeah, after he did A Quiet Place, the prequel. He's done Gladiator 2. Yeah.
He's in Fantastic Four. He did Stranger
Kit Connor,
Things.
I remember. Kit Connor and Taylor John Smith, I know as well. But yeah, I like that Will Poulter was front and center for a lot, and like he does a really good serious person. Yeah, I agree with you. I like that for a war film, it didn't lean super hard into in-your-face graphic gore, and it didn't lean super hard into panic the whole time. We didn't see big monologues or spiels about like the psychology of it or the psychological trauma. Like we literally saw like men at work doing their jobs in real time.
That's so insightful actually, because you're right. It wasn't like I think in war films we're used to maybe following a lead character who is a cut above, and someone might save the day, or they in a war film, they're like they take out a crucial enemy position or something like that. It was just like everyone kind of like knew what they were doing, but then when there's this massive explosion and everyone's like, no one can really hear, you've got people injured. It's just like, you know what? They knew they were doing their job well enough to get out of that situation. And it just felt really realistic of what it would be like to be in one of those traumatic instances. Yeah, would recommend, but with a liberal warning that it's not like a fun romp.
No, and they don't shy away from showing you injuries, like realistic injuries. They don't shy away from showing the men go through like being shell shocked in real time. There's not this big crushing sense of like peril, or there's not this really big chokehold of we're in this big horrible situation, we've got to fight our way out. Like it's so like, I just want to say like realistic, but as if I know what realism is in that instance, but it's done so respectful. Like I watched it and I had just such a great like reverence, respect for this unit, because they were just a well-oiled working machine, men at work doing that mission that they had to do and getting out of that mission because shit went wrong, which was a reality like of where they were. And they never painted like, the Iraq locals or the jihad, like they never painted them as like the most horrible, worst people or the enemy. Like, yes, they were in a war fighting each other, and we all know the actual backdrop behind that, but it wasn't painting them like horrible people either, and it wasn't glorifying the Americans for being there to rescue them and to save the communities, and it just left that out of it, which was really nice. We were just in this one, I guess you'd just call it like this one family's house. Like, you were just in their house in sort of 2 or 3 rooms for the majority of it. You saw the street, you saw down like the sniper barrel to across the road at a group of shops, and that was like our world. I did really like when they brought in the fighter planes as a distraction, just to sort of clear the road for a little bit, to make a distraction for the tanks to come in. They'd fly in their whatever jets to clear the road. I thought that was really cool. I liked that. I don't know what they called it. What did they call it? Bring the noise? No, not bring the noise, was it?
No, it was something like that. But it just like all of a sudden there's just dust everywhere. And it would. You'd like, if you were like a local, you'd be like, what the hell is that? I'm ducking for cover.
Yeah. Thought it was cool.
Yeah, so
I would recommend for sure.
Very cool film.
Nice one. I haven't seen it yet. Came out at a time was like a lot of things happening at once, and I had limited time to get to it. But now that I know it's on Prime, I'll probably check it out in the next couple of weeks.
Don't watch it with Zoe.
Oh, I was going to actually, so I'm glad you told me, because I was on the fence.
I watched it. I watched it on the treadmill. So I watched it like 2 parts on the treadmill, and I'm glad I did, because that way I was like, okay, like a bit of tension. I'm getting a bit of tension. Yeah.
That's really funny. I was debating whether or not to take Zoe to Fantastic Four. So if I'm on the fence about that, Warfare, she can probably wait a couple of years. Maybe when she's 7, she can watch that one.
You're 10.
I've watched so much stuff like in the last month. I'm finally like back on track. Like, I was doing 4 a.m. starts at work, which is not kind of conducive to watching a lot of movies, especially on school holidays when everyone's home. But I've been able to watch a few things. So I watched Companion. I'll start with that one, which came out earlier this year, starring Jack Quaid, son of Dennis and Meg Ryan. It also had Sophie Thatcher, I want to say her name is, who's kind of coming up. I think she was in Yellow Jackets, maybe. She was in Heretic with good old suave Hugh Grant. I couldn't remember his name for a second. And basically the story, I'm going to try and keep it spoiler-free, even though it's been out for like 6 months, in case people want to check it out. I'll keep it pretty spoiler-free, because once you know the twist...
I talked about this on the pod a few months ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and somehow kept it spoiler-free. So, yeah, anyway, thought I'd just mention that.
I forgot you even mentioned it. This is a contender for me for one of the best films of the year. I loved this movie. The premise is that Jack Quaid and his girlfriend arrive at like a summer house, like a vacation house, where all of Jack Quaid's friends are going to be hanging out for the weekend. And all we know very early on is that his girlfriend feels uneasy going in. She feels like his friends hate her, and she doesn't understand why. But he's just like, just put on a smile and it'll be okay. And then it's revealed very early on, and this is not a spoiler, that she is not human. She's AI. So she's like basically an AI companion. But there's rules of robotics and stuff like that. Like, AI can't harm humans. They can't do any of these things. Like, they must follow certain directives. And then maybe 20 minutes in, it all hits the fan. And some of those directives start to fail. And I feel like that's about as much as I can say without spoiling it, because the film, I had no idea what the film was going to be going in. I just knew that AI was involved somehow. And then we got to the moment that happened. I was like, oh, I know where this movie is going. Nope. Had no idea where it was going. And time again, it kept tricking me where it was going. But I feel like it's very hard to talk about without spoiling it. And for those who haven't seen it, it really is worth your time. It feels very reminiscent of Ex Machina, which you just mentioned before, Nick. Like, Ex Machina also kind of comments on that. And it asks these really interesting questions about civil rights, and consent and things like this, in as much as, like, at what point does the intelligence stop being artificial and start being real? And at what point do they maybe get to have their own lives and stuff like that? It's really good. It's really good. Like I was like, as soon as I finished, I was like, do I have time to watch it again? And I didn't. But Jack Quaid, I'm really digging him. I think I first started seeing him in The Boys, probably. But everything that guy's in, I just think he's really entertaining and really charming. Even when he's playing villainous roles, like in Scream, he plays a villain. Spoilers for that movie. But yeah, he's always charming. And Sophie Thatcher has just seems to have sprung up out of nowhere. I'm sure she hasn't. I'm sure it's just me not paying attention. But she's everything I see her, and she's wonderful. In this, she was exceptional.
So I'll just jump in there, James. So I don't obviously. I think it was a very brief thing where I spoke about it before, but my a critique. It's not really criticism where I thought it like really impacted the film, but like it's not the main plot point or spoiler of the film that she's an AI companion.
Correct.
But I didn't know that going in, and that's revealed really early. And I thought you could have there was a little more meat on the bone there. Like they could have gotten a bit further into the story before revealing that, and it maybe would have packed a bit more of a punch.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't have to agree. I just, I thought.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking about it because I knew AI was involved, but I didn't know she was AI. And I guess I'll spoil this one phrase because it doesn't really impact the plot too much. But like they're talking in bed at night or whatever, and he's like, I don't know, go to sleep. And I thought that like was a really good misdirect because I was like, oh, he's just having the conversation that we've all had when we're tired with our friends or our partners. It's like, I don't know, just go to sleep. And then later you find out that that's a command. Like he's switching her off for the night, and that comes back into play later on in the film. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I might disagree respectfully. I thought for me, well, at least for me, for what I got out of the film, I didn't mind that it was revealed quite early because there's definitely plenty going on in the film, and I think it's only about 90 minutes long. They do a lot in 90 minutes. I also really like, and I'm going to keep this spoiler for as well, but the police car sequence, and I'm not going to say anything else. I think it's all over Instagram and TikTok and stuff. But that scene I thought was very entertaining and very clever.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it too. And like Jack Quaid's like, he's got that energy where he's like, it's not really leading man energy. It's like something slightly off about him energy. And I think that leads to like more like interesting and compelling parts. Like in this, where he ends up at the end of the film is like, what?
Yeah, Jack Quaid to me is Simon Pegg in Mission Impossible. Like that's who he should be, kind of like the slightly like awkward, like he's kind of thrust into situations he shouldn't be, but he makes it work. Like that's kind of the kind of character actor I see him being. But then throwing him in the lead role, I'm like, oh, I do like this. And then you're right, like where the film goes, you're like, what?
Yeah.
You could totally handle this one. It's I wouldn't really call it a horror film. Like horrific things do happen, Maddie, but it's also very tongue in cheek, and it's very like.
Well, I liked Ex Machina.
I would say it's not as dark as Ex Machina.
No, it's not. Is
it like halfway between that and like Ruby Sparks?
Oh, that's a really good pull, actually, because I love Ruby Sparks. What a great triple feature that would be.
You go through a lot of emotional, questions.
Yeah, you'd have to start with Ex Machina and then get lighter. Actually, that's not a bad place to kind of bookmark it. I think it would fit somewhere between those two. Definitely closer to Ex Machina than Ruby Sparks, but yeah.
Well, then I could handle that. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good. Like I finished watching.
Is it really talky?
Yeah, it's a good mix of like.
Ex Machina was really like atmospheric, and obviously
No, it's not doing that.
No. Yeah, it moves pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's really good. It's like I just actually posted on Instagram the other day my top 10 favorite movies from the first half of the year, and Companion comfortably sits at number 1. But that's from January to June. It was before Superman and Fantastic Four came out.
Man. Hot dog. Number 1.
I loved it. I haven't seen anything quite like it. Like it's reminiscent of films I've liked, but it felt very original. It felt like its own thing. And it just, it gave me something I didn't know I wanted. And that's, always the best surprise in a movie when you don't know what it is and you get something. So, I really enjoyed it. What else you watched, Maddie? We'll go back to you.
I'm trying to think of which one I'd chat about. Oh, I'll bring up. Oh, I did watch Mission Impossible 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, have you got a wife, a girlfriend?
Yes. As soon as that line came up, I thought of you both. Don't need to chat about it because what we chat about, you were spot on. Like, I didn't think he was the scariest freaking villain I've ever seen. For some reason, I was like,
yeah, that's funny.
I was not as put off by him, but he was definitely like an excellent villain. Like, he was excellent, but I wasn't super put off. But it was a good film. Yeah, it was a good film.
Did you like Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall?
Oh my God, I like spat my drink across the room. That was so bad.
It's so dumb.
So bad. It's so dumb.
What did you think of like the lip reading?
You liked it when he's like, when he's sort of shackled to the gurney and he's back at headquarters and they quickly do I was like, oh, that's a skill. I thought that bit was cool. I was like, how the fuck's he going to get out of this? No, I liked that. And I liked, what else did I really like? I liked like the whole end sequence where they're in, where did they end up? Did they end up in Japan? No.
Are they in like Shanghai or something like
Shanghai, yeah. Sorry, they ended up, in Shanghai. And I liked, the reveal where the wife had to figure out like where it was all like, where he'd been working from and like having to shoot the gun and having to defib him.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's so much so that now David and I are like, cool, we will keep then going through and watching more.
Did you like
awesome.
We were like, meh.
Did you like kind of house husband Ethan Hunt, who's like entertaining at the party and stuff? Where he's just like everyone likes him. He's just like this nice guy that no one's ever.
I found it too weird because he felt very much like interview Tom Cruise, like how he is when he gets interviewed and stuff. So I was like, you're just being peppy you right now. So I was like, nah.
It's funny because like that is literally like the only time in the whole of this movie series where we get him like at home not talking about like missions. Like I reckon he'd be the shittest hang of all time because all he wants to do is talk about work, like all he does is work.
I did like all the scenes with Simon Pegg. They were cool, and I enjoyed. I did found myself being like, "Cool, more of you. You can stay. We like more of this guy." So that was good.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. I really like 3.
You kind of made it to the end of phase 1. Like that's kind of phase 1 of the Mission Impossible franchise, and then 4, 5, 6 is like phase 2, and then 7 and 8 are like phase 3.
Yeah, I feel like I'm ready for that middle bunch soon.
The best phase.
Wait till you get to Elsa. Elsa Faust.
Yeah, she is a badass.
I'm ready.
Clarinet, sniper rifle, or whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm ready for her. And also, like, I watched Wild Robot with the kids. And so, James, I reckon you'll really like it.
I've started watching it. Yeah. I bought some Blu-rays for Zoe a couple of weeks ago. I said, pick whatever you want, you grab it and we'll get it. So we got Dogman, which she'd seen in theaters, which we loved. She got the new Looney Tunes movie, which I really want to watch, but she keeps going, actually, I don't want this now. So we'll get to it. And Wild Robot, which I think we watched the first half an hour of. But I was doing things, so I couldn't get fully emotionally invested. But visually, oh my God, it's gorgeous.
It's got a really, really beautiful digital painting style. It's got I can't remember what it's called, but it's like almost like a shifting like shifting planes. Like if you actually look at like the foliage and other stuff, not everything's sort of realistically stuck together. It kind of shifts, and you look at these beautiful like rendered textures and things. Which I really appreciated, someone doing a full-length feature in a really unseen digital skin, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, I just pissed myself laughing all the time at the there's like a possum mother, and she's got like multiple possum children. And she like drops in as like, the old sage mother, because the wild robot Roz is kind of being a mother for the first time. And so you've got like the first time mum versus the one who's like, is the kid dead? Kid's dead. Never mind. And like the kids deliberately, like the baby possums deliberately play possum. So when they think there's a predator, they play dead. There's this excellent scene where they're like, how did you die? Emphysema. And like, I got sepsis. Hey, I said I want to do sepsis. And I just found them really, really, really funny. And my kids really like it because there's a possum in there called Rowan. And my son's name is Rowan. So they're like, look, it's you. He's the one that they think dies. And then he comes back later.
Another Pedro performance as well. I love Pedro in that.
Yeah. Yes, Fink the Fox.
Fink, yeah.
And there was a few moments where I was like holding back the tears because it's very like
it's pretty
mums just trying their best and making it, like even when she's like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm making it up as I go along. I was like, preach. I feel the pain.
It's pretty hard when he flies off. Like we were watching that and I was like, oh, this is very sad.
He's left the nest and she just has to sit there and hope he might come back. Yeah, there's this thing that I don't know who told me it, but when I found out that I was pregnant with a boy, so when I was having Rowan, someone said to me, "Oh, you're having a boy. That's so wonderful." But, and I was like, "But," I'm like, everyone always sort of tells you these lovely things and these sad things, and they said having a boy is like being broken up with just very slowly, and I feel it. I feel it all the time. And yeah, in that moment where he leaves the nest, I was like, "Oh my God, this is what it's going to be like. He's going to break up with me just really slowly." Yeah, I felt that one.
I imagine I'm gonna just start watching it by myself at some point. Like if the kid's got maybe a week left and she doesn't pick it up in the next week, I'm probably gonna watch it by myself without her, and then we'll try again later.
See if you can pick Mark Hamill. Did you, Nick? Did you find Mark Hamill?
I don't think I did pick him.
He was carrying a lightsaber, if that helps.
Should have been a giveaway.
In the background.
I picked Matt Berry in like a second.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to think who else was in there that I just didn't see coming. Was Bill Nye? No. Yep. Was Bill Nye in it? No.
He plays Longneck, doesn't he? Like the old goose man.
Yeah, that's it. I picked him pretty like quickly. As soon as he came on screen, I was like, yeah, that's a pretty iconic voice.
Ving Rhames plays Thunderbolt.
Ving Rhames is in it. That's right.
Lucius returns. He was just
Catherine O'Hara's in it.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh, she was the possum. She was the possum mum. Yeah. She's so blasé. Like, yeah, I liked her. But yes, Mark Hamill. Do I spoil it? Or do you want to find him?
I'll find him.
He's in it a few times. He's not just sort of a one hit, one scene. He's in it like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and I'll look for him. I'll try and watch it before our next recording. As I said, the kid's got about a week left because she got 3 new Blu-rays and I sacrificed my own purchases so she could have some stuff to enjoy. And she's only watched one of them, so I'm going to watch them without her in a second.
You're like, I paid for them.
Yeah, I did. So she ain't got no money.
All right. Whose turn next? Nick?
Must be Nick Owen again.
Sorry, I'm yawning. Yes.
So am I. It's all good.
Okay, well, strap yourselves in. Start your engines, because I want to talk about F1.
I knew as soon as you made that joke, it was going to be a car movie.
Well, that was the idea.
Zing.
This movie is sick. I had such a good time going to see this. I saw it on what's the Hoyt's big screen? Is it Extreme?
Extreme screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we saw our premiere in, was Extreme screen.
Yeah. And I was overwhelmed in the best way possible. So, I mean, F1's a big film, so I'm sure a lot of people kind of know who's in it and what it's about. But it's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who is very quickly becoming one of my favorite filmmakers. He did the Top Gun sequel, which came out a few years ago, which was phenomenal. He did Oblivion. He did Tron Legacy, which again is a really underrated, cool looking film. So basically, Brad Pitt plays a washed up former F1 driver who's kind of just spends his time. He like kind of lives out of a van and goes around America, or not just America. He goes around the world, just kind of like racing in kind of like any race that he can kind of enter. So when we meet him, he's doing Le Mans, but he just basically does the circuit, earns some like quick dollars, and then moves on. So he's kind of living a transient lifestyle. And I got to say, I was in really early because we get introduced to him, and he's like he wakes up in his van, puts on his headphones and plays a Led Zeppelin song, of which I cannot think of the name. Might be Whole Lot of Love. And we follow that music follows him as he walks out into the track to Le Mans, and he gets in and just like does this. It's like so well shot, follows him around the racetrack, and then there's this wide shot of him coming around a bend in the course while Led Zeppelin is playing really loudly, and there's like fireworks going off in the background. And I just thought, this is it. This is what we came for. So anyway, Javier Bardem plays this owner of an F1 team who's really struggling. They're kind of the lowest rank F1 team on the grid, and he's basically going to have to relinquish his stake in the company and sell the company if they can't get a top. I think they need to place in the top 3 for just one race in the season contractually for him to continue his ownership. And so, as a Hail Mary, he tracks Brad Pitt down because they used to race together. And he kind of comes in as the wily old fox onto the team to complement like the brash, young, arrogant driver who they've got, who's kind of like Lewis Hamilton in his younger days. And that's that the guy who plays that character is a guy called Damson Idris, and he's really, really good as well. And it basically follows this F1 team through the season as they try and place. The tension is this Damson Idris guy. It's kind of like he wants to take ownership of the team, and he kind of resents Brad Pitt coming in. And likewise, Brad Pitt's like, who's this kind of brash young punk? He hasn't earned his spot just yet. But then they kind of learn to work together. And it's like, if you've seen a sports movie, you could probably imagine how this goes. It's freaking good. It's freaking inspiring, and like it'll make you want to take up, I don't know, not necessarily just like racing, but like any good sport movie, like Creed or like, I don't know, The Replacements. You just kind of like gets you inspired and gets in your blood. And then there's the technical element of the film, and that's where I think Kaczynski is such a great director. Like they came up with this new really light technology which allowed them to mount the cameras at all these different points on the cars, and so you can get this camera that is like literally looking in at Brad Pitt while he's driving, that then swivels to then watch a car, like another car that comes in and overtakes. So it's just technically amazing. And I think it's still playing at cinemas. So I would definitely recommend anyone out there to go check it out on the biggest screen and the loudest cinema possible. But I do think it would be great anywhere. Yeah, I take it neither of you have had a chance to see it just yet, but yeah.
I'm
No.
I'm an F1 fan, and I loved like Ford versus Ferrari, and I'll be checking that out for sure.
If you've seen Ford versus Ferrari recently, there's that scene when Matt Damon takes the owner for a ride, and they're all like, "Get out of the car," and he's like, "Show me what it can do," and then Matt Damon goes, "Attaboy," and then he floors it. It's basically like 2 hours of just that.
I haven't seen it either yet. There's been, in the last month, I would say like 6 blockbuster movies. Like the 6 of the biggest films of the year have come out in the last 6 weeks. And it's been hard to kind of keep up. So F1, I hope I'll get to. There's another big one I know Maddie saw, which I haven't. I thought I was trying to say before today, and I haven't seen it yet. So, but we'll get there. I don't know if Maddie's
back around
frozen
to
or
you.
just glaring at me. Nope, just glaring. I'm going to do a quick twofer like Maddie did because she mentioned 2 movies. I'm going to give a quick shout out to a show I watched. I watched Marvel's Ironheart, which is the new Disney Plus series about a character who was introduced in Black Panther 2, and she's kind of like the new Iron Man. I really dug it. It got obliterated online by a bunch of review bombing jerks, basically, because no one could foresee a female in an Iron Man suit or a black character in an Iron Man suit, and everyone was very horrible about it. But the show is really good. It's really fun. It's nice to see a flying suit in the Marvel shows again. Like, we haven't had a flying suit since Endgame. It's nice to see one back. And Sacha Baron Cohen makes an appearance towards the end, and he's really cool in it as well. So that I watched that. But the next movie I'll talk about before we get into the big stuff was I watched The Last Showgirl, the Pamela Anderson movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
No,
You know,
I
it's
haven't
funny
seen
you say
it,
that.
but it did so well. Everybody who reviewed it, or like all the stuff that I saw on socials, was like very positive about
Yeah,
it.
it's a really fascinating story. It almost feels like it could have been like a Damien Chazelle film. You know, he did La La Land and Whiplash and stuff like that. Because ultimately, it's the story of this aging showgirl played by Pamela Anderson, and she's kind of sacrificed everything to be a dancer her entire life. Like, she doesn't have a good relationship with her daughter. She's been married and divorced and had a bunch of flings and stuff like that. She lives in not the greatest house, but she's sacrificed it all because she's always want to be on stage dancing and stuff like that. It's also very what was the other movie it was reminding me of? Damn it, it was just in my head now, forgotten. That's okay. And then very early on in the film, it turns out that where she's performing, they're shutting it down. It's like the last kind of old-fashioned style of dancing from the 70s or 80s when she grew up, and it's no longer popular in Vegas, so they're closing it down to introduce something new. And so she kind of has to deal with this journey of like, what do I do next? I'm in my 50s. I'm no longer young and desirable. Like, do I pack it in? Do I keep going? Do I try and pursue this relationship with my daughter? The Whale is what I was thinking of. Because if you watch The Whale, that's a very similar story about a guy who made a bunch of sacrifices, has a terrible relationship with his ex-wife and his daughter, and then like tries to make amends and stuff. And she's great in it. She's really good in it. Brenda Song, the Disney girl, is in it as well. She's married to Macaulay Culkin. She's in it. She's really good. And it's not really like a beginning, middle, and end type story. Like, yes, there's a 3-act structure, but it's less about like, it's not destination driven. It's more about how do you navigate life when it gets tough, and where everything you've ever known suddenly changes and the kind of the rug is pulled out from under you. Dave Bautista is in it as well, who we probably all know mostly from Guardians of the Galaxy, and or wrestling if you're into that. And he's really a sweetheart in it. He plays a really interesting character and like this really like lovely, supportive. Like, he's the guy who does the announcements when they come out to strip and stuff like that. Basically, he's like the stripper guy with a heart of gold. But it's
And you're forgetting someone as well.
there's Billy Lord,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's right. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and she has a wonderful moment as well, where she dances to is it Cherry Pie or Pour Some Sugar on Me or something?
I'm not sure, but she's kind of playing a real like sister character to who she plays on The Bear. Like,
yes,
they could be related.
Yes, absolutely. And I would also go. Maybe this is that might be too extreme. I was going to say the mum from I, Tonya, but that might be a bit too extreme. But she's definitely towards Dave Bautista. She's definitely not pleasant.
It's kind of like
Mum
that.
from I, Tonya, was that who? Is that oh my god, not Jenny? No.
Yeah, you're on the right. Alison Janney.
Alison Janney. I was like Jen, yeah.
I feel like I have mixed them up for like my whole.
Total Eclipse of the Heart is what she dances to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she's just so good at playing those kind of like old battle axes who have been like just beaten down by the world. And it's funny when she's like giving Dave Bautista a hard time, and he's like, "Oh, she's like, yeah, how's that? new girl settling into my part. You know, she couldn't dance it, and he's like, "Oh, she's been doing it for 7 years, so she's like pretty good at it." Or whatever.
Yeah. It's beautifully tragic. Like, it's definitely not a happy film. Like, there's some joy to be found in the idea of the enduring spirit and kind of moving through. Like, it's certainly not depressing. It's not like Schindler's List or anything like that. But it's definitely kind of a summary of like what it's like to be past your prime, and when you get to that stage and you realize you're in that act of your life, do you forge ahead? Do you try to keep making a go of it, or do you pivot? And like, how do you do that when you're on the other side of, you know, kind of the best years of your life and stuff like that? It's really fascinating. And Pamela Anderson's great in it. Like, she's really good.
Kind of also a really interesting look behind the curtain for these for places like Las Vegas, which are consumer towns. Like the image of Las Vegas, and when you go there, you're the consumer. It's for you, but there's a whole world there of people who make that all happen. And yeah, it's just like way less glamorous than it seems.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But really good flick. And again, like a really short one, like 90 minutes. I was gonna say 90 seconds, 90 minutes. And the audition scene is heartbreaking. I don't know if you remember that scene, Nick. Yeah, when she goes into audition for a new show, and like she's definitely the oldest girl there by 30 years or something, and like her routine is based on something she did in the 80s, and it's like no longer relevant. And she has this line. Oh, what's the line she says? She goes, this broke my heart. She goes, "I can be sexy. I can be whatever you need me to be. Just tell me what you want." And like, oh my God, like, even though I've never been a showgirl in Vegas, we've all been there at some point in our life where we've all been at our lowest. We're like, what do you need me to be? Like, I'll be that thing. It was so soul crushing. But really wonderful film. And was it Gia Coppola who directed that one? I want to say it was Gia Coppola.
Not sure.
Yeah. There were 2 films released by members of the Coppola family in the last year, and this one I think was definitely. I've started watching Megalopolis, haven't finished it yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, I want to watch Megalopolis just to see if it's like, is it like, what is it?
I'm 30 minutes in. I have no idea what's going on. It's like it feels like it's trying to be 1984. It feels like it's trying to be Brazil, and it feels like it's trying to be Romeo and Juliet, like all at once. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I'm enjoying it because I'm just like, what is this? It's crazy. It also reminds me of Southland Tales. I don't know if you saw that one, directed by the guy who did Donnie Darko, but it's because that's a crazy movie as well. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I've got 2 hours to go, so hopefully it'll unfold and I'll be able to tell you more. But yeah, because right now Adam Driver can stop time apparently, and I don't know if everyone knows that or not, but he keeps stopping time.
Yeah, isn't there like a substance that they use called like megala something? Or...
I don't know if we've got there yet or if I've missed it. It's full of it. Like, it's an insanely good cast. Like, it's an incredible cast, and I have to imagine it's because it's Coppola who's doing it, but it's bonkers. So I can't really review it yet, but I can tell you at 30 minutes in, I don't know what's happening.
Did it get some hate? Like, did it get hate?
Oh, eviscerated.
Am I remembering that?
Yeah,
eviscerated.
Okay.
Like,
so I was trying to figure out, is that the film I'm thinking of that just got like?
There were all sorts of scandals. Apparently, like when the first like promotions came out, they found like they put up like all these reviews or whatever, and then it turns out they weren't real reviews. They were generated by AI to impersonate reviews. Because like they name drop real people. I'm like, I didn't write that. So,
yeah,
so I don't know.
And Francis Ford Coppola, like, it's infamous because it's like actually I can't think of another example. I'm sure there are well-known examples, but like he'd had this script and was trying to get this film made since the 80s. It was like one of those famous ones that was always, you know, always in production but never quite got there. And then he self-financed it. Kind of like, maybe the one I'm thinking of is Kevin Costner's Horizon films that he's...
Or Heaven's Gate from, I think it's the 90s. I don't know if you heard about that one, but that's like, at the time was the most expensive film ever made, and like it just didn't turn a profit. Like no one showed up for it. So.
Yeah, so it's kind of a bit infamous for that.
And the acting is really unusual Look, I feel like it's a choice. But like Natalie Emmanuel, who was in Game of Thrones and she joined the Fast and the Furious franchise later, she's one of the characters, she's one of the leads in it. And she's acting in a very wooden way, but I know she's a fantastic actress. I've seen her and stuff. It's almost like if you watch some of the older Yorgos Lanthimos films, like Killing of a Sacred Deer, or The Lobster, where they act like they're talking like a robot almost. Like that's the kind of performance in it. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
That's a choice.
but yeah. So next time I should be able to talk about it. It shouldn't take me 2 weeks to finish it. Maddie, should we jump back to you? I've still got tons to watch. I know Nick and I have something we both saw independently of each other, which I imagine is got to be coming up on our list pretty soon.
I saw Jurassic World.
Whoa.
Well,
and this
and
was a huge moment for you. Oh, sorry, go on, yeah.
It was a big moment for me. I put my big girl pants on and I took myself to a movie for the first time ever. I have never sat in a movie theater on my own. All the ladies listening out there know that, yeah, sitting in a room in the dark by yourself isn't always something we're very comfortable doing. And so I put it off, and finally I was like, no, it's a 9:30 a.m. session on like a Tuesday. And I went and I sat right up the back so that my glasses wouldn't impair my extreme screen viewing. I had my popcorn, I had my drink. And I am incredibly biased, so you cannot trust my opinion because it's a Jurassic Park film. But it is on par in my top 3 Jurassic Park films.
Wow.
So I like 1, I like 2, and then it's like equal third with 3. The Chris Pratt ones went in a direction that I was like, yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, all
do you
dinosaurs.
not like
the
first Jurassic World?
Of course I like them. I've got but in terms of like the vibes that I'm after, like what am I going to see a dinosaur film about? I'm not going to see a dinosaur film about the ethics and the morals around cloning and around genetically modified materials, and like I'm not there for that.
Isn't that a big part of the first one though? Like, isn't that like you spent so much time worrying about if you could do it, you didn't stop to think about whether you should? Isn't that like a big part of it?
Well, they don't lean as hard into that. It's more about the spectacle of we've done it. Like we did the thing and then we'll deal with the consequences later. Like, and the hubris behind we did the thing because we could do the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess, but it's not shoving it down our throats like the other ones did. But yeah, I was in it for the character dynamics. I'm in it for those big dramatic chase scenes. I'm in it for the crashes. And I definitely got rewarded. I will say going into it, which is a little bit embarrassing, but I did see some of the people doing the comparisons with Jonathan Bailey and Milo Thatch from Atlantis.
Yes.
And Scarlett Johansson and whatever the mercenary's name, Audrey? No, not Audrey. The mercenary in Atlantis as well. Like there's parallels going on being like, this is what they're going to be like. And they were not like that at all. So I went in being like, okay, is Jonathan Bailey going to be like cutesy, stumbly, bumbly scientist, but like hot? But no, he was a normal dude in slutty glasses. And he had a couple of little flirty moments with ScarJo. And they were cute, but he was like capable. He wasn't bumbling or needing to be rescued or pulled out of the line of fire, or he held his own. He was cool.
Was he like the Sam Neill kind of character, like, or was that ScarJo?
Neither. We didn't really have those tropes too closely mirrored, because even ScarJo, she's like a mercenary who's basically like getting you in and getting you out of the situation. But she was peppy. She was very much like, oh, well, let's do this. And like, isn't this amazing? This is fun. And you're like, oh, okay.
In fairness, that could have just been her excitement, because I think I read somewhere that she'd like wanted to be in a Jurassic Park movie for like her whole career.
Well, it showed. She was having the fucking time of her life. Yeah, she was having the time of her life. Even in the scenes where you're dangling over the edge of something and something's about to bite your head off, yeah, she'd be screaming and whatever. But then she'd get pulled up and she'd like wisecrack a bit of a joke, or she'd like wink at Jonathan Bailey, or like pat someone on the back, or she was really peppy. She was upbeat and peppy and fun. Jonathan Bailey was just a neutral dude with slutty glasses. We had this whole family, so they were trying to tick boxes in
I'm so
terms of,
sorry.
like,
The whole time you guys have been talking about Jonathan Bailey for the last month, and I'm like, shouldn't I? I should know who this is. Who is this guy?
yes, you should. What the hell?
I just realized that he's Fiyero in Wicked, so I do know him.
Yes. So slutty little camp, gorgeous man was not as slutty and camp, and he's just normal dude.
Okay, sorry. I'm just like, 'cause you're talking about him like so knowledgeably. I'm like, why didn't I know who this is? I should know who this guy is. And then
he's everywhere. You should know who he is.
yeah, he just seems to be doing projects that I don't watch. Yeah,
He's part of that like British-Irish invasion that's like Paul Mescal.
yeah. So that's another one I'm not familiar with. Like I've seen Gladiator 2 now, so I've now seen a Paul Mescal film. But like there was just a whole like uprising of new talent in the last 2 years. I'm like, who is Paul Mescal? Who is this person? Who is this person? So yeah, I don't watch Bridgerton, so that's why I didn't know Jonathan Bailey. I think Tina
but you've
actually
seen
showed
Wicked.
me.
Yeah.
I have, but I didn't look. I was watching it for Ariana and Cynthia Erivo. Man, I wasn't paying attention. So this is a reunion. Oh no, Goldblum's not in this movie. As I say, it's a reunion between the two. But well, now they have to.
Well, and
apologies for derailing. Sorry.
But now you know who I'm talking about.
Well, I was looking at him. I'm like, he looks kind of familiar, and I just never did the research. I'm like, it's just a guy who looks like the Atlantis dude. All right, cool. And like now I know who it is.
Well, he's very different to Fiyero. Very different to Fiyero. But yeah, I love that we're back in like an island. So we're on another island. We're trekking through the jungle from point A to point B. We've got a really, really simple premise. We're there to get some blood samples from 3 dinosaurs and get in and get the fuck out. Like simple stuff, like just simple stuff.
Can I ask? I'm so sorry because I am not as enamored with the franchise as you. I do like the Jurassic Park movies, but like, I just never watched them growing up. I was kind of late to the franchise. What is it? Why is everyone always excited about the island? There's always an island. Every movie there's an island. Why will like oh well it's simple now. They're back at night. The last one they were at an island. Every movie is an island. Give me something.
Because I love the idea of having to get from point A to point B, and at any moment a dinosaur could come out at you. Like at any
fair
point.
Enough. We were robbed.
Cool
I think I'm just bitter because we were robbed of an incredible dinosaur invasion across the world movie. That's what Dominion should have been. I wanted raptors on motorcycles and leather jackets, and we didn't.
Well, we get that. We get that at the start of the film, and it's a very clever device at the start of the film where it opens with a big like apatosaurus that's old and frail and walking across the street and like dies in the street and blocks traffic, and everyone's just kind of inconvenienced and pissed off.
Wow.
He just kind of sits down and everyone's like, fucking hell again. Like
you just sold a ticket. That's the best. That like they should have used that as the trailer, just that shot, and I'd be like in.
It's beautiful, but it's really, really slow. It's almost like watching like a Macy's Day Parade thing just slowly settle on the road and just sit there, and then the traffic's blocked and everyone's honking and pissed off. And like it sets up the whole thing of like no one cares. No one cares about dinosaurs anymore. No one's going to visit the theme park. Jonathan Bailey works at a museum where when we meet him, they're packing up all the exhibits, and he's like, no one gives a shit. All the dinosaurs, they can't exist in colder climates. The air density is too thin for them in colder environments. The food scarcity, it's all wrong. So they kind of end up shrinking and only living in like the warmer bands around the equator. And there's a few new places or island chains where they are just not allowed to go. Humans aren't allowed to go there because basically you'll die. But anyway, so we're going after them for medical research purposes. And other than that, no one really cares about dinosaurs, really. Jonathan Bailey does, and that's how they get him to go to the island. They say, mate, like, I know you've been to the parks, but wouldn't you like to see them happy in their natural habitat, or like happy not at a park? Don't you want to see one just out in the wild before they're gone, or just in your lifetime? And he's like, yeah, okay, fuck it, I'll go. It doesn't take much convincing, really. And there's this beautiful scene with him. And that's where I cried, because it was just this beautiful rush of like, yes, I'm here and I'm witnessing this in the flesh, in their environment. And so I had a bit of a cry because I've always wanted to see a dinosaur in the flesh in its natural environment, not killing me. But yeah, there's like a couple of moments that you come to love about, you're trapped in small spaces with teeth coming at you, sort of similar to the kitchen scene from the first Jurassic Park. So you're
I'm
in like a
still
scene like
scared
that
of that
again.
scene.
Really?
Yeah, when they're
That
in the
was
kitchen.
fun.
Nah.
The kitchen scene. Yeah. So fun. You still get the scene with the T-Rex chasing you, but it's done in a new way that's like you start off kind of a little bit tense and then you laugh and then I laughed and then you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like basically they stumble across him by accident. He's asleep in the grass upside down like a puppy dog. And he's just snoring away with his little hands and he's just got his little round belly up and you're like, oh, it's kind of cute. He's just having a little snooze. And then the teenage daughter just does something really fucking dumb, like just really dumb, and wakes him up. And you're like, you basically this is really mean. There's a family in it that I think are there to sort of tick more boxes about like younger kids and teenagers. I couldn't give a shit about any of the family. Couldn't give a shit if any of them died. There's a dad, there's a teenage daughter, there's her dumbass, like doped up boyfriend, and their like little 10-year-old sister. Couldn't give a shit if any of them survived, which is very rare for me to even not care about a kid. Couldn't care less. They were just stumbling around in the dark,
what are they
being
doing on
dumb.
the island?
They were on a yacht trip outside the zone, and their yacht gets attacked by some ichthyosaurs or some other water dinosaurs, and so their yacht gets fucked up. So they call out a mayday, and so they go and get rescued by Scarlett Johansson and whatever, while they're secretly sneaking over to the island to get the blood samples because you're not allowed to go to the island. And I think basically this family is a plot device so that Scarlett Johansson doesn't seem like a careless, I don't give a shit mercenary. I think it's to kind of humanize her and to make her seem like she's actually like an all right person. Like, I think that's the only reason. She's like, no way, we're going to go rescue them. Like, what the hell? Who are we? Of course we're rescuing them. We'll rescue them first, then we'll keep going. It'll be fine. We'll drop them off somewhere on the way. And there's little interactions between them that, I think it's literally just to make Scarlett Johansson's character not look like some sort of heartless bitch of a mercenary. But the boyfriend, I don't know if it's because I'm a school teacher, but the idiot boyfriend is just lazy and dumb, and his scenes are dumb, and I just wanted him to get eaten. I just really was like, can we just bite his head off? Like, on the toilet, like bite his head off. Let's get rid of him. And he survived, and I was just like,
Is that the character Xavier?
Probably. I couldn't tell you. I was just snoozing on him.
This guy?
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Actor did a great job. He pulled off the character he was supposed to pull off, but the character is like lighting up a joint every 10 seconds, or like got his back to the camera taking a wee while there's dinosaurs about to kill him behind him, and he just sort of stops midstream, and then they go away, and then he keeps weeing and like keeps asking for snacks, and like I'm just like, I didn't find him funny, but maybe other audiences might find him like funny, maybe sort of comic relief, but not really. But the scene with the T-Rex is awesome. We get a little bit of a cameo from some velociraptors, which I wasn't expecting at all, and that was really cool. And we get a scene with a new freak of a dinosaur called the D-Rex. And I totally reckon there needs to be a crossover with the D-Rex and something from Godzilla. D-Rex and Mothra or something, because he is fucked up looking, but also slightly endearing. And he reminds me of the Rancor, but he's also a dinosaur. But he was cool, and he wasn't like the biggest problem through the whole film. Like, they kind of touch on him for a while and he becomes a problem for a bit, and they sort of just moved you through these little bite-sized good bits almost of all the other films. So you had just a fun ride, I reckon.
I'm just looking through the stills on IMDb. Oh, yeah. God damn, Jonathan Bailey in those glasses.
What a slut, right?
I was just thinking, because you said he plays like an archaeologist in this film?
Yeah, he's in some sort of paleontologist, archaeologist. He's he understands sort of the biology of them of some sort, because he is in charge of going out and collecting the blood sample, because he knows which dinosaurs are the biggest ones and have the most optimal heart function that they're going to get their information from. I don't know.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I don't know if you've seen the news, but Disney are like, we're definitely making more Indiana Jones films, and they're talking about who could play Indy, and maybe he's kind of an out of the box choice. Like, I don't know if he has much action in Jurassic World, if he can carry action scenes, but he definitely, like, seeing him all grubby in those pictures. I'm like, oh yeah, he could do like maybe he's like an out of the box choice for Indy. If you're going to recast him anyway,
put him in a fedora and we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give him a whip and I'll be happy.
It's like when men saw Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman 30 years ago. Now it's the ladies' turn.
Well, yeah, I thoroughly recommend. It was a fun ride, and yeah, stuff. The family are boring as all hell. ScarJo's cool. There's a really gory scene at the beginning when they get to the island. They get messed up by some Spinosauruses. The D-Rex is a freak.
How's Mahershala? You haven't said anything about him. How's he?
He was like the steadying presence.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's the boat captain that's sort of sneaking them in to the zone and to the island. And he's also going to help. He's friends with ScarJo, so he's going to help them get across and get the samples and leave and whatever. And he's just sort of a really like well-weathered, steadying presence. He doesn't really seem out of place or seem like he can't handle anything. He's like a professional. And he's got nice light moments with ScarJo where they talk about past jobs and people they've lost that they've been friends with. And like her mother has passed away before this, and I think him and his wife have split up. So they have like nice personable moments between each other. But he's exactly what you want him to be, really.
Nice. He's looking good too in his Hawaiian shirt.
There's one character, I feel really bad. There's one character in it. Let's look him up. I don't know his name. And he's in the film for a good like 2/3 of the film, and then he finally dies. And even then I'm like, I don't care. I don't know who you are. They've given you no screen time, no lines. But he's in it for a really long time for a character that they don't give any focus to. And then he gets killed and you're like, well, I don't know what his name is. Figure it out later.
And then finally, how did you enjoy a solo movie trip?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
It felt strange. Like, thank God it was a Jurassic Park film, so I could just be sort of completely absorbed in that. And there was only like 3 other people in the cinema, so it's not like I was having other people rustling chips or talking or getting up to go to the toilet, and then that distraction would remind me where I was. But definitely waiting before I went in, I was like texting you guys being like, guys, this is weird. Like I was quite uncomfortable. I was quite uncomfortable about it just because that's just the way that we live.
I can understand
and then
that.
after the fact I was really happy about it that I went. But yeah.
And it is different. You have to appreciate it. It is different for a guy can just rock up into a cinema, like a dark room, and not think twice about it. So there's definitely something to reflect on there. But it's a big step, and it's actually something I didn't really do in my younger years. I was just too self-conscious. I was like, oh, people will be like, who's this guy by himself at the cinema? But actually, in the last few years, it's been something I really enjoy, and I don't really go to like the primetime sessions. Like I wouldn't go Friday night or something like that, because it's going to be busy and stuff. But it's like hitting up a morning session like you did, or early afternoon. It's actually something I've really come to enjoy, and it's like good. It's good like me time,
It feels like a bit pampery. Yeah,
it does.
It does.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I hit the late nights. I'll do like Monday night or a Wednesday night, like 9:30. Like that's what I'll do. Like once Zoe is asleep, like I'll spend a little bit of time with Tina, and then I'm like, all right, you're gonna go to bed, so I'm gonna go to the movies. So I'll like catch a late session. Because otherwise, like if I go to the movies with someone, like 9 times out of 10 these days, it's Zoe. Like she's my most common like movie partner. So I go to the movies quite a bit alone, and I'll do like a later session. Like during the day, I don't really have that kind of time. But yeah, I love a solo movie trip. And if you go in those weird times, there's no one there. Like maybe there's 2 other people. Yeah, it's the
And
best.
the fact that there's no one there, that's what makes me also feel weird. Like, that's also, I remember even you texting being like, well, if you have any issues or if you do get nervous or whatever, the cinema staff will be like really helpful and right there. And I'd never even thought of that. That never crossed my mind that, oh yeah, shit, I could actually just go to the cinema staff and like, it just never crossed my mind. It was such a new experience. And I think I'm only getting to the movies on my own. Yeah, when it's school holidays and the kids are like with grandma or something. So it's a luxury for me. It feels like a luxury, and I lent into it and I allowed myself to be like, this is nice and this is for me. And it was good fun.
Yeah, well
Nice
done,
one, man.
Big
Well
step.
done. Must be back to you, Master Owen.
I was like, whose turn?
All right. Well, this is going to be a bit of a speed round. I'll just get through a few. There's a couple of oldies and then a newie. And then, I don't know, James, how you want to approach the 2 most recent ones that we've both seen that are a bit bigger. But
well, I could do a speed round as well because there's probably 3 I want to speed. I don't need to spend too much time on. And then there's 2 we've both seen. And then I saw a brand new film last night, which I imagine I'll probably finish on.
Okay.
And then there's a movie coming out tomorrow that I want to tease as well.
All right. I'm going to take you all the way back to the year 2000 and the film What Women Want, starring Mel Gibson.
Oh, my God.
They remade it with Taraji P. Henson.
Oh, did they? Or
What Men Want.
I'm OG.
Right.
I'm OG when it comes to reading the opposite gender's thoughts.
Yeah. MG and Double H. What a flick.
This movie is insane.
So good.
I hadn't. It's actually getting scary to think that, like, I don't know why I would have watched that in the year 2000 because I would have only been a child, but I did. And it's like, that was 25 years ago. Holy shit. But, like, Mel Gibson commits a number of crimes against women in the first like 15 to 20 minutes of this, and it's so funny to look back and see that at one time, like, being sleazy was sexy and was cool. But there you go. But I'll keep this short. I will give this movie credit. It really humbles his character, and way more than I thought it would. I couldn't remember the film that well, but I sort of thought that he would like have a little bit of comeuppance, learn his lesson, and then come out on top. But it really does humble him, and I was impressed with that for the year 2000.
What made you go watch it? What made you pull this out of the box?
I think Alicia and I were just looking for something with a slight bit of retro charm.
Okay. Well, tell Alicia that, like, next on the list, I'm going to do Miss Congeniality, the first one, and I reckon you guys should too.
You've been posting a lot about that, Reese. I saw on Instagram.
It's been popping up. Yeah, it's been popping up in my Insta, and I'm like, shit, that is so in the same, same class.
You've got to get up earlier in the day than that to get one over on us. That is in our wheelhouse, and we watched it a few months ago.
That's sweet.
I feel like you'd get along quite well with Alicia.
How bizarro is that? That's a deep cut from Miss Congeniality.
Speaking of the crew from Miss Congeniality, my next film I want to talk about
Michael Caine
from the year 2000, and it's 2 Weeks' Notice, which also has.
Oh, what a classic!
And this is like so of its time. They literally don't make them like they used to. You just do not get This
is the film I'm talking about when I say like that mid-level $30 million. Like, you remember how I'm always like, in the 2000s, J-Lo had a rom-com out every week. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. 2 Weeks' Notice, Miss Congeniality. Like, it's a lost art form. Sorry to step on you.
No. It's exactly like what I was going to say. It's just like, it's a romp. It's like Hugh Grant plays this kind of like difficult to deal with wealthy guy. She's his like hard ass like lawyer. Hilarity ensues. They get together at the end. It's like 90 minutes in and out.
It's such a trope, yeah. There's such a trope of like polar opposites, etc. Neurotic versus so nonchalant that he's infuriating and like, yeah.
And
How
she has
cute
like,
is the scene with the envelopes and the stationery?
yes, yes.
I love that scene. And then he's like, "How did you? I've been staring at these for weeks. How did you pick one?" And she just licks the glue on the envelope. She's like, "Well, that one tastes not as bad."
Yeah.
Did you ever watch, Nick? And maybe you, and obviously the question sends to you as well, Maddie. Did you ever watch Mickey Blue Eyes? Where like
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
Hugh Grant is like a foppish guy because he's always playing
What
like
a,
a
what a
foppish guy.
shock.
But then like he has to pretend he's part of the British mob, and so he calls his mob name is Mickey Blue Eyes.
No,
And
I've never seen it.
I want to say it's him and Andy McDowell. I can't guarantee it'll hold up, but I was thoroughly entertained when I was like 13.
And then the final one, James, you mentioned it earlier without going into depth, was another Hugh Grant film called, and it's Heretic, which came out this year.
A great movie.
I really enjoyed it. It probably wasn't as scary as I wanted it to be. So
No.
I'm not a massive horror person, but sometimes I'm in the mood and I want to be like scared. And it was quite psychological, and I think the revelation that like his religion was control and power was like an interesting take on like that. But all the trailers, I don't know, like I wanted them to go into this labyrinth. You know how like to escape his house, he invites them to go through, pick a door and go through it. And that's kind of where the trailer ended. And I thought they'd go into this like labyrinth, which might be kind of like Saw, the Saw franchise, where it's like they'd have to get through these like awful tests or something. But it kind of went down into a bit of a basement, had to solve a riddle down to another level. It didn't quite give me the scare that I was looking for, but still pretty cool.
For me, I really liked it, but I think for me it was less about the movie and more about his performance. Where I was like, the movie is fine. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's totally like a riveting watch, and like it's definitely interesting, but also like they're clearly like, and decidedly so, they're very naive and like they fall for things so quickly. But this is like a new level of malice for a Hugh Grant performance. Like, we've seen him in his ladies, he's starting to lean more into villainous territory, which I like. But this was like, I'm trying not to use the word transcendent so much lately because I'm using it a lot, but it really is. Like, it's nothing you've seen him do before, and it's really fantastic.
I remember the first time I saw him in The Gentleman, I was really impressed. 'Cause I was like, whoa, I haven't seen you do this. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen you do this before. Like, you were a slimy sleaze bag. Like, this is cool. It was cool seeing him, take a big stride away from the typecasting.
Yeah, he's taking bigger swings these days, which I really like. Don't get me wrong, I love him as the Prime Minister in Love Actually, but it's nice to see him do like different stuff. He's also highly villainous in Paddington too, if you haven't seen it.
But he kind of like, he kind of played the same character for like 15 years, like foppish gent, and it's kind of like you would get pretty annoyed at being typecast.
What is fop?
Like foppish.
Yeah.
Very.
But is it like slang, or is it an anagram, or is it short for something, or is it?
I mean, it's probably more like slang, but like, foppish. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like it's his character in Notting Hill. I would say he's like
it's his character in everything from the 2000s.
Okay, I just didn't like. Why have I never heard that term before?
Some of us are educators, Maddie, so we just bring language to people. Maddie's the only teacher in the room.
I'm gonna Google a foppish gent.
I'll be honest, I used the word. I was like, I don't know what it means, but I know what it means, but I can't define it for you. But
it's like where it fits. You know where it fits in the sentence, and you know when it fits in the context. But then someone asks you to explain it, you're like, Matt, look it up.
Well, while Nick's looking it up, I'll go through it. Was that all of your quick little watches?
It was, yeah.
So hang on, which one would you put? Which one would you put first? Would you like 2 weeks' notice is better than What Women Want is better than Miss Congeniality? Rank them, sir.
Oh, I mean, Miss Congeniality is clearly the best film of those. it's
You
like
can remain my friend. Yes, you can remain my friend. That's okay then.
William Shatner's speech when she gets the crown.
Yeah.
She's beauty and she's grace. Like it's all going down.
Then, sorry, what were the options after that?
Then do you want What Women Want or 2 weeks notice? Which one's next?
I'll take What Women Want because like it's such an odd premise and it's like it's got a bit more heart at the end of it, I think. Like I felt way more because he's like he I don't know if you're I didn't even go into this much depth when I was talking about it, but like he's like an ad exec and he thinks he's getting a promotion, but then it goes to Helen Hunt. And because he gets struck by lightning or whatever, he can hear what women think. He kind of like he steals all her ideas before she can say them, so he starts to look really good. And the boss is like, "Oh, you were right. I should have given you the promotion," and she kind of gets the sack. And so she goes through a lot as well. So it's got a lot more emotional depth actually than a film like that has any right to do. And then I would take 2 weeks notice. That would be my order. Thoughts on that?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there as well. One has a bit more meat than the other.
Yeah. All right. While you're finding out the definition of fop, I will go through
I can send it to you in a picture.
my 3 quick ones. So firstly, I watched The Apprentice, the movie where Sebastian Stan played Donald Trump, starring Jeremy Strong as Roy Cohn. And this was Nick has just sent me a photo, which is great. As okay, now I'm distracted.
No, we're all reading.
So it's like the story of Donald Trump before he became like the guy we know him. And it's a tough watch. It's a really difficult movie to watch. Like it's brilliantly made and it's perfectly acted. In fact, Jeremy Strong, I've never seen Succession, but he's wonderful in it. But there is not a likable character in this movie. Like there is no one to latch on. It's just like, here's a terrible person, and he's going to mentor a terrible person into becoming an even more terrible person. And even like Ivana Trump, who's I guess kind of meant to be likable, even she's not particularly likable in the film. It's just like terrible people doing terrible things, and it's rooted in reality. So you're never like, well, it's all going to work out, because spoiler alert, it hasn't. So it's just a really tough watch. And if as much of it is true as what I believe it to be, then it just makes everything in the film even more appalling. It's just like, Jesus Christ, like this is just horrible, horrible human beings. Sebastian Stan resists the urge to do the accent. Like very early in the film, I'm like, where's the Trump voice? Like everyone's got a Trump voice. Where's the Trump voice? And instead he just kind of plays it very mellow, very like kind of neutral. And at first it bugged me, but I think overall it's the right choice for the film. I think if he was just doing like I can't do it, by the way, I can't do the Trump voice. But you guys, everyone knows the voice. I think if he was doing that, it'd be very distracting. It would feel more like a parody. And you might even find the characters more likable because he's doing an impression. So I think the choice not to do it grounds it. But yeah, it's difficult. It's like it's a brilliant film. I don't know when I need to watch it again though. Like and I watch a lot of horrible stuff. You know, I watch some pretty messed up movies, but that one gave me the ick from start to finish. But well-made movie. I don't know if either of you have seen that.
I haven't, and I think that Sebastian Stan did quite well campaigning for this movie because I think I don't think he personally came under a lot of flack, but I think he ran a really good campaign to give this film some credibility, and it was nominated, I think, for a few awards, and I think he was as well, because I think it's a pretty on the nose subject matter these days. Like it's pretty brave to do a film about Donald Trump, and I think I think he personally did quite well to get the message out that this isn't like a biography the same way that like, you know, the Bruce Springsteen one is coming out where he's like, saves America from the Vietnam War kind of thing. It's yeah. So that's all I kind of heard about. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really unpleasant to watch. And I don't normally feel that way watching films. Like I was just like, man, it felt like work. And again, it's not because it's poorly made. It's not because it's paced wrong. Like everything about it is what films should be. It's just there is no one to like in the movie. And because we're kind of living through the byproduct of the events of this film, it makes it even harder. But I am glad I watched it. It's definitely worth watching at least once. To contrast that, I also saw Elio, the new Pixar film. So I took Zoe to see that one. And this film's come under a lot of scrutiny. It's the lowest box office opening of all time for Pixar, apparently. People think it wasn't marketed very well. Apparently, it was rewritten a bunch of times. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. There are 2 movies from Disney this year about traveling to space and aliens and what it means to be an outsider. Lilo and Stitch doesn't need to make $1 billion. Go and see Elio. Like that's what I would say. Like I like Lilo and Stitch, but we've seen that before. This is really different. It's about this young boy whose parents died. They don't really tell you how they died, but very early on we find out he's now living in the care of his aunt because his parents died. And since that happened, he has felt out of place. Like he doesn't have any friends. His aunt is in the military and like in the space division of the military and doesn't have like a lot of time for him. He doesn't connect with anything, so he's decided like he kind of stumbles upon this aeronautical museum and like all these space discoveries, and he sees the Voyager, and he's like, maybe my place isn't on Earth. Like maybe the people who accept me live beyond the stars, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And like cue a montage of him lying on the beach every day, like with big letters carved in the sand saying, "Please abduct me." And then eventually, like he does go into space. This is all in the trailer. So I'm spoiling anything. He does go into like it's kind of like the Planetary Alliance from Star Trek, except it's like this huge community and like sharing of knowledge. And when he gets there, they're like, well, you're clearly the leader of Earth. Like you've presented yourself as the leader of Earth. So you can audition to be part of our alliance. But there's one other person and they're interviewing right now. And it's like this giant alien with machine guns for arms who wants to destroy everything. And like he becomes pretty much our primary antagonist. And it's just really lovely. Like I know I've given Disney and Pixar a little bit of shade over the last few years because I don't like that they're not really mixing some things up with their animation style. They're kind of putting out the same kind of products, but I think this is one of the better ones. And I think, one of the reasons why it got scrutinized was, if I remember the story correctly, originally when it was written, it was meant to be much more an allegory for transitioning. If you're part of the trans community, like it was meant to be a lot more leaning into that. And Disney kind of backed out. Like, it was like, oh, we don't want to do that with the kids' film. We're going to kind of steer away. I don't know what version of film we didn't see, but I can tell you that all of that's there still. Like, it's more subtle, but I was watching that and I'm like, oh, this is a story about outsiders. And whether you're an outsider because you're not popular or you're an outsider because you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community, like, it's all there. It's all there. Like, you can, if you're paying attention, you can pick up on it. But it's just really beautiful and it just feels like a real win for people who don't feel like they belong. And I really enjoyed it. Zoe didn't enjoy it. Zoe, it was a bit too high concept for her. Like she liked the giant slug alien and that was about it. That's at a certain point very loudly in the cinema, she turns, she goes, "Daddy, we don't need to buy this one," which was pretty funny. But I really enjoyed it. I think of the Disney animated stuff that's been coming out the last couple of years, it's one of the better ones. And it's kind of a shame that it had the lowest record because it's quite a lovely film. And then the last thing I watched before we go back to Maddie and then we close with our big watches, I did finally watch Gladiator 2. I've been wanting to watch it for a while. I know it received mixed results. I know there's a lot of feelings about later career Ridley Scott, maybe not hitting those same highs that he did when he was earlier in his career. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's reinventing the wheel. I don't think it's bad. I think a lot of people kind of gave this film a lot of critique. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's highly unnecessary. It feels very much beat for beat the same movie we saw 25 years ago, down to like some of the moves and commands that this new Gladiator gives. But there are cool moments.
It's in his blood, though.
Yeah, tell me about it. But there are some good moments. Like, unlike all the historical nerds, I like the sharks. I was like, yes, this is cool. I know they used to flood the Colosseum. That is historically accurate. I don't know whether they had sharks on demand back then, but I liked that addition. I liked Joseph Quinn and his weird incest twin. Like, that's what it felt like. They were this weird, like, polyamorous ancestral relationship. I dug all of that. I'm like, this is crazy. I like it. Denzel Washington feels incredibly out of place in this movie. He's good, but I also saw someone talk about it. They're like, is he good or is he good as a different character that shouldn't be in this movie? And I think that's a pretty good point as well. It's weird.
He's the only character, though, and this could be because he's the best actor in the film. He's the only character, though, that gets enough development where you understand his motivations and you can see what he wants. And like Paul Mescal, we just see him sifting through some grain in his hands,
which they've never done in a Gladiator film before either, by the way.
At the start, and then all of a sudden,
I feel like you're right, Denzel. You're watching him like wheels turning, and you're watching him pre-plan and set things in motion for himself, and you're watching him grip to what he's got to like grab onto to make things happen for himself, and then you're watching Paul Mescal kind of just deal with what's in front of him at the moment, and then the next thing in front of him, and then the next thing in front of him, like as it hits him, as it comes at him. I still love it. I love a Gladiator film.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Like, I definitely enjoyed it more than I was expecting to, because people had been pretty cruel about it. But yeah, like if I had to choose between the two, like the first one every day of the week, like the first one is legitimately a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fun to be had. Like I like boats and sharks and stuff like that. To me, I'm like, yes, like this is great. If anything, I would have liked more sharks. I would have liked if one of the sharks grew legs and started attacking people in the stands. Like, I would have gone for that as well. But yeah, like my favorite characters were definitely the two emperors. Like that to me, I was like, this is so. Everyone in this film is acting in a different film, it feels like, and I loved that weird energy. But yeah,
I do like where he was going with every single character was dangerous in their own way and had the opportunities for holding power in their own way. Like, I thought that was really well explored in terms of like, yeah, the emperors were dangerous because they're unhinged and they've got so much power because they're emperors and they can just throw their weight around. And I like that, like, Lucia, I don't know, the mother, the old character, Lucy. Oh, she's not Lucy. I'm trying to think. Like, it sounds like Lucius because her son's Lucius, but then her name's like Lucia or something like that. But I like that she's sort of dangerous because she's always in the background and she's got the history and she's got some of the Senate on her side and she's got a bit of power. And I like that Paul Mescal, you know, has some other things that he could then come out of the woodwork with and gain momentum and gain power. And he's dangerous because of that. And yeah, Denzel Washington's dangerous because he's like a real manipulator and he's got real teeth to sink into the situation. And like, I liked that every single character you were like, yeah, I like that sort of battle in that sort of motif, I suppose.
I will say the thing that frustrated me the most, this was the most annoying part of it for me, was in the first movie we had Maximus and this one we had Macronus. I'm like, the first few times, because it wasn't like super clear in the audio, I'm like, could we have chosen any other, like literally any other name? Like, you're like, what sounds as close to Maximus as possible? What is it? I don't know, Macromus or whatever. I'm like, dude, like just call him like John. It's fine. Like, it's all good. But yeah, like it's definitely like, is it good? I'm unclear at this stage, but it's definitely entertaining. Like, so I was never bored in it.
I was not bored. I enjoyed it, but I think the thing that I came away from it was like I want to say to this film, like, why do you exist?
Yeah.
You know, like, why were you made?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was really asking. Like, yeah, it didn't feel like particularly consequential. You know, it wasn't like, oh, there was a cliffhanger. We need to know what happened.
It feels like they wanted to tell a couple of different stories, like, and the main arc kind of meant to seem to be like the downfall of Rome. But then spoiler alert, it ends with everyone just being friends.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
I just realized we've gone for about 2 hours, so we probably want to zip through these last few.
Not to bring out our admin on air, but I was going to say, like, we've left two pretty big ones. Do they need to be to your call, James? But do they need to be like their own thing?
I guess it depends how much we're going to talk. I've reviewed them both in 90-second installments already, but there's also a really big one I just saw, which might take a few minutes to talk about as well. Why don't you have a charger for your laptop, Maddie?
It's all the way in another room in my
Yeah.
school stuff, and like.
My brain power is very quickly deteriorating.
Well, then maybe I'll just do a very teasery review of what I saw last night, and we'll save the other chat for later, because I know you guys haven't seen this because the world pretty much hasn't seen yet. But last night I went and saw Fantastic Four: First Steps, which is the new Marvel film.
Wow.
I prepared by watching every Fantastic Four movie ever made, including the unreleased 1994 Roger Corman one, which is available on YouTube for free right now. It is. I don't have words. It's insane.
Good insane?
Yes, good insane. Like Reed Richards and Sue Storm are always meant to be romantically involved, but in this 1994 one, the first time they meet, he's a fully grown man and she's like 8. And then they still end up in a romantic relationship 10 years later. Like, it's insane. But they all get to use their powers. This is the Fantastic Four's first foray into the MCU. It's been 10 years since our last Fantastic Four film, which was universally kind of destroyed. People hated that one. And before that, obviously, the ones with Chris Evans as Human Torch. This was my most anticipated film of the year, like even more than Superman, even more than all the horror stuff. Like, I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. I've been waiting for this film since they threw up that logo in San Diego Comic-Con like 5 years ago. I don't want to oversell it, but it's not just my favorite film of the year so far. I think it's my favorite Marvel film since Endgame.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I really like it. No Way Home is very close. I love No Way Home as well. I don't want to oversell it because it could just be me.
Coming in hot with a take. My laptop is on fire right now. Just hearing about chickens.
Everyone, people will feel differently about it, but it's the first time I truly believe the people making the film were like, oh yeah, they're a family. Therefore, they love each other. Like, they might argue, but they're always going to be there. Like, every other film that they've done of this franchise has always had them butting heads with each other and making them their own antagonists. This is not that film. They work together. They love each other. They focus more on Reed Richards' smarts than his stretching abilities, but we get the stretching. Susan Storm is hands down the strength of this film. Like, you get to see her do so many cool things. She spends a lot of the film pregnant, which is in the trailers. I'm not going to go into the details of how her child is born, but it's one of the most stressful things I've seen put on cinema. It's like a childbirth scene by way of Interstellar, and that's about all. Yep. The visual effects are stunning. Silver Surfer is incredible. She looks amazing. Like, it's so well done. You can tell I've seen people critique the visual effects in this film. I got no idea what the hell they're talking about. It looks great. Galactus is exactly what Galactus needs to be. He is the size of a skyscraper. He's got a big purple helmet and he eats planets. Like, that's what he's meant to be. And setting it in an alternate universe where it's perpetually the 1960s was the best thing they could do for this movie. I had a cheesy grin on my face from start to finish. Like, once it starts, it doesn't stop, and it is just like pure cheesy retro sci-fi at its heart. Like, if you think of like Lost in Space, if you think of like the old like 60s and 70s sci-fi shows, it's leaning into this hard. It is wholesome and cheerful, and everything I assume loved about Superman, Nick. We will talk about Superman on the next episode. They're doing the same thing with Fantastic Four. They're leaning into the comic book of it all. They're leaning into the joy of it all. But like, it was scary at times. It was tense at times. I cried 3 times, which isn't really new for me, but not just happy tears. Like there were sad tears as well. It's wonderful. I should have said it's fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. I know there's going to be someone on the internet right now telling me that I'm insane for ranking it as high as I do. I loved it. I just enjoyed everything about it. Like it feels like there'll be moments where you're like, oh, this feels like 1960s Batman, like when they do this kind of villain montage and stuff. But it's great. It's really fun.
That's very exciting to hear that, because I've been also really keen to check it out. So you must have seen it. When's it out? I thought it was.
So it comes out on Thursday, but a lot of the theaters were doing an advanced screening Wednesday night. I opened up my phone app. I was like, I wonder if I can see it Wednesday, so that way I have time to do the recording on Thursday. And there was an 8:30 session, which was a bit too early because with Zoe, and there's a 9:30 gold class. And I was like, do I do gold class? And when I opened up my app onto the gold class thing, I realized I had enough points for a free ticket. So I was just like, done.
Yes.
Free ticket to gold class. So I went last night. So that's why if I'm yawning a lot, it's because I literally didn't get to sleep until 1. And then I woke up at 6. So I really liked it. It's not going to be maybe for everyone, but if you liked Superman, I think you'll like Fantastic Four. It's
I really love the 60s, the 60s style, the 60s backdrop. I haven't seen it, but I'm so keen to see, a film that goes back that way. Like the Incredibles. I love the Incredibles, how it was sort of in that. Yeah.
Well, the Incredibles is very heavily taking from the Fantastic Four. Like,
you can absolutely tell the parallels with that family dynamic and with the abilities and I'm so keen to see.
I said to Tina hates the Fantastic Four. She thinks it's dopey and goofy. I'm like, you're gonna love this, like because of the retro futurism. Because she mainly hates them because she doesn't like the fact that Mr. Fantastic can stretch. She thinks it's dumb. I'm like, he does, but also like it's not really about that for him here. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I honestly want to go back and see it. So I had to talk to Tina because Zoe wants to see it. I'm like, look, I think it's a PG, so we could take her. Like Zoe does watch some PG stuff. I just think it's a little bit too chaotic for her. I think it's gonna be too much like explosions and giant robots trying to eat planets and stuff. But boy, is it fun!
So I've got to have that on my list then, and F1. It sounds like. Yeah.
I am probably going to see both Superman and Fantastic Four again if I can. Like I want to try and see them both again. I love them that much. Your battery must be at like 2%, I'm guessing.
Almost.
Well, the last thing I'll say, by the time this episode drops, it will be out, but Happy Gilmore 2 is out this weekend, which I'm very excited about. I just rewatched the first one, and I am so ready for number 2. It drops Friday night, so...
is that that's on Netflix, right? It's not theatrical?
It is Netflix, not theatrical, but that's okay. The trailers, I'm very excited. Make me very excited for it. So I'm hoping we get a hole in one for with this one.
As long as Shooter McGavin is back,
he is. He's in it.
Thank God.
Everyone who's alive is back. So no Chubbs, unfortunately, but he died in the first movie. So spoilers for a 40-year-old movie or however old it is.
Oh my God.
30.
It's not 40.
I guess that's it. I guess we should get out of here. Does anyone have any final thoughts before their batteries die and the computer shut down for good?
Am I in the doghouse?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I'm just being mindful of your battery life, that's all.
If I just suddenly cut out, no, good chat, fellas. I'm so proud of us that we watched so much.
We have smashed.
I didn't get through everything. I took things off my list because I was like, we're running out of time. It was nice to watch stuff. So next time we catch up, we'll talk about Superman. We'll talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer, because that's the premiere that Nick and I went to. And hopefully I'll finish Megalopolis and I can tell you if I finally understood what it was all about or if it perplexed me for the rest of the runtime. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you want more of us, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we're on all of the things now. You can't get away from us. I did a guest spot on the Danny Boy show. I'm not sure when that episode drops down, but I was on that. So look out for that soon.
Just me sending you a photo of my battery running low.
Yeah. At some point, the three of us are going to talk about our guest spot on the Revisionist Almanac because we have to watch about 40 movies for that. So we'll talk about that at some point. But thank you everyone for listening. Please follow, subscribe, like, comment, all those lovely things. Keep listening. Tell your friends, tell your grandma. And that's it from us here at Film Snob HQ, where it's movie night every night. We'll see you next week.
Back to the future, Midsommar, Die Hard, dude. Where's my car? The Matrix, Jurassic Park, and Clerks, and Christopher Nolan's collected works. I was a teenage film